All right, guys, I'm gonna give it to you straight. I bought a supercar. It's my first one, and I decided to go with something that's a little bit irregular but very common. This is the Audi R8. It's not a V10, it's not a V10 Plus. It's the Audi R8 RWS. What does that mean? Rear wheel series. Yeah, that's right. You have no quattro system, which eliminates the front drive shaft, gives you full rear wheel drive, and sounds like an absolute widowmaker, but it's not. Here we have the 5.2 liter V10 engine that's pushing down all the weight of the car onto the rear wheels. And if you have proper tires, you truly don't feel the fact that you're driving a supercar with 500 plus horsepower only to the rear wheels. It's absolutely one of the best controlling vehicles I've driven in this caliber, and I can say so far it's been very impressive. RWS is limited to 999 units worldwide, 400 in the United States of America, and the rest obviously for Europe and Asia. As you can see there, the badge on the dash says 1 of 999. Of course, this is not number 1. It's how Audi does it to get you some excitement. So I want to get into what I really love about this car. First, I could say the looks. The design language is just incredible. I mean, this is going to be a gorgeous looking car for the better part of the next 20 years, in my opinion. You got those sharp Audi LED lights. These are not the lasers. You got the beautiful hood that's nice, subtle, and short, but it lengthens the entire body of the car. And of course, you got these side blades, which are painted body color on the RWS. In my opinion, it looks pretty cool, and it makes the car nice and sleek. And then in the back, you got some beefy 4 pistons right there, and you got beefy 6 pistons in the front. And I would say one of the coolest parts of the car probably has to be, again, that German glory. Back here, you have an aerodynamic spoiler that pops up at a certain speed threshold. You can also control it with a button in the interior cluster area right underneath the AC controls. This is good for creating downforce at those felony speeds, or just popping up your spoiler when you feel like it. Next thing I want to get to probably has to be the drivability. This is quite literally one of the most comfortable cars I've owned. And I come from, 4-door sedans like E-classes without AMG anything, just basic E-class and Teslas, stuff like that. And this has to be one of the most comfortable. I'm focusing on the seats here because they are just like butter. This has got the Express leather package, which was originally $7,000 from Audi, and it's got full supple, Napa leather. Oh my God, it's amazing. And the feeling it creates is just unlike anything else. I mean, you're sitting in a car with a 5.2 liter V10 behind you, but when you're driving in comfort mode, you just kind of forget. It makes it feel like you're, in a A6 or an A8, and it's just incredible that they were able to achieve that, all while being able to achieve the violent power and performance that this car can output at the tip of your toe. And now that we talk about performance, we're pushing about, I think, 532 horsepower, 398 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60 a little bit over 3 seconds, and it's paired to the dual clutch transmission, which is absolute butter. However, sometimes in low speeds, when you're on S mode, which is the sport mode of the transmission, you do feel the clunkiness of DCT. I did experience that with my BMW M4 in the past, but it's nothing to be concerned about. Just got to get used to DCT. And I could say the suspension is probably one of the most comfortable, again, that I've had on a sports car. This, unlike other Audi R8s, it's sitting on the spring suspension, no magnetic ride control. And as you guys know, that is the Achilles heel to this car. Unfortunately, magnetic ride control goes out once every 20,000 miles or 5 years. Audi knows that this is a defect, but they don't honor it under any kind of warranty, and you're stuck paying quite a bit of money for it. The spring suspension is comfortable enough that you do not feel the road whatsoever, but you can handle the road when you're ready for it. Another thing that I noticed, I could say kind of a weird thing, you have no weight in the front, so you hear rocks like crazy at low speeds. They fly around inside of these fender wells, and it definitely freaks you out at first. But again, it's because there's no idle noise from an engine in the front end to keep things meted out. But other than that, I can say this is probably the most practical supercar that I've seen. Front has plenty of room. I would pop it, but there's a bunch of random stuff in there, so proves my point. And in the back here, you have a little parcel shelf. I would say you could easily throw up a duffel bag in there, a backpack, things like that. And these here are attachment points for a net to secure your stuff that you can buy aftermarket. However, I don't have that on mine. And again, probably one of the best designs that I've seen in a supercar and most practical. And, you know, Audi doesn't forget that this is luxury. As I first mentioned, you've got the express leather, which also eliminates the second Achilles heel, being the dash that peels up since everything is nice and stitched in. Another thing that I think Audi does really well has to be the carbon fiber trim. I mean, what other manufacturer puts carbon trim behind the AC vent? When I saw it, I thought it was kind of crazy, but you know, it is what it is. And you got that carbon trim all throughout the interior, all throughout the vents. Looks incredible. And here you've got the R8, and it lights up at night. Looks very, very sleek. And forgive me, I'm wearing slides for this purpose. You can see the Audi Sport logo on my foot. This projects from the factory. Yeah, you can get those on Amazon, but from factory it's great. And we have the Bang & Olufsen system paired with this vehicle, and I can tell you it's incredible. Probably one of the most stable and best sounding systems that I've personally seen in a car of this caliber. I had rented many Huracans in the past when I lusted about having one, and I can tell you they had one of the worst audio systems I've heard. Like, literally terrible. So Audi definitely relieves that for me. And over here, we got these beautiful billet aluminum pedals straight from the factory. They look incredible on the car. And the steering wheel, sorry, it's upside down. It's got probably, I would say, one of the most logical designs. You got your start button here, your drive select here, and you've got all your controls for the infotainment system, the navigation, the car right there, and also right there, as you can see. And I did really despise something Audi did, and that was the paddle shifters. Those were DSG paddle shifters from Volkswagen, which felt terrible, plasticky, weak, cheap, everything you want to call them. I went ahead and installed a set of paddle shifters by JQ Works called Mad Trace Magnetics. These are meant to mimic F1 cars, and they give you feedback with magnets. Listen to this. Words can't describe how great that feels when you're downshifting. So, to sum it up, I can tell you design language, absolutely out of the park. Performance now is just something else. It's something that really has to be experienced. But to summarize it, I can say it's like a tiger kept in a cage. Most tame when you want it to be tame. And when you want to break it loose, you can absolutely blow everything else in the dust. This thing is just incredible when it comes to performance on demand. You would think that you have a naturally aspirated engine, performance has to build up, power has to build up, and it kind of does, but on your way up, it's very incredible. It's very fun to enjoy. At around, I would say 6,000 RPM is where you really start to feel that your life is in danger. This is a type of car that you can definitely control that with and have good fun at lower RPMs. And braking power's fantastic, handling is fantastic, everything about the performance on this car is done right, and using it in a normal, standard, ordinary situation where you want to go get groceries or you want to go to the gym, you don't have to use the performance. In comfort mode, it's incredibly useful, it's incredibly controllable, and anybody could drive one. You don't have to be skilled, you don't have to know what you're doing. Anybody can sit behind the wheel of this car and confidently drive it around without a worry. So that sums up my introduction to my brand new, to me, 2018 Audi R8 RWS. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully I did a good job explaining what I like about it so far. Forgive me if I missed some details. It just has been a couple of weeks for me. I'll definitely make future videos. I still have the M3, and I'll definitely include that in some of the videos. For now, thank you for watching, And please consider subscribing, and see you in the near future. Take care, everybody.